You better choose to stay. These words will remain and never fade away. This is poetry, only Tuesday. A-M-L.
Oh, hey! Anyways, it's Badger, I'll say, from the amazing channel Badger Mind. French pronounced it Badger Mind. Anyways, and also
You mean Chinese, Japanese.
Okay, this is my best friend Charlie, and today I have some poetic questions. Okay, so I know you've heard of Andrea Gibson.
Yeah.
Yeah, where she says, safety isn't always safe. You can find one on every gun. What is your thoughts? Safety isn't always safe. You can find one on every gun.
Okay, I think what makes this hard is it's two separate things.
Okay.
So, like my mind's like a bit like. But I think the first one I'm gonna break it down to.
Break it down.
Safety isn't always safe. I feel like, especially if you take parents as example, I feel like they're a good example.
Okay.
They always want to imply safety to the child because they think it's beneficial, but it's not always beneficial.
Okay.
So moms always want to keep boys from doing boy stuff, but boys need to experience certain things to feed their soul.
Okay.
So in that case, safety isn't always safe, might be harmful. And then you said there's one on every gun.
Mm.
I'm thinking if I think about a gun as it's a weapon, but each weapon's got a safety, so each dangerous thing's got a safety to it. So maybe if you break it from there, you can actually go and do unsafe stuff, dangerous, this from man's perspective, feed your soul well, because you can do it in a safe way. There's always a safety to the danger. Where some people think something's just dangerous. There's two ways to it.
Okay.
I took this it.
I like it. Where are we here with?
I'm Lewamov again from Bethel.
Nice to meet you. So today I ask you, there's a line that Andrea Gibson wrote, that safety isn't always safe, you can find it on every gun. What's your thoughts?
My thought exactly. I think it's so simple. It means everything is calculated risk. Nothing is safe in this world, nothing is 100% safe. For example, if we take they call it safety belt in the car, but when you get crashed in the car, what is happening? It locks you, you cannot go out. So how is it safe? Let's take a condom. Condom is a protection. But when you do sexual intercourse, put the condom under microscope, it opens the holes. There is a holes in the condom. So that simply means there's no something that's safe. It's all, can you say, it's a calculated risk.
A calculated risk. Really like your answer. Safety isn't always safe. You can find one on every gun. What's your thoughts?
Dang. It's just literally stating, for me personally, what I think is she's stating the fact that everyone has a choice, a moral compass. We all have the power, life and death is in the power of the tongue. And I think that's the same way as we all are empowered to do great harm and to do great good. And so it's more a practice of self-control and holding back. So yeah, because I mean, guns are there to protect, but also to cause chaos in the wrong hands.
Yeah.
So.
I like it. Hello, you're on Richie McDonald Poetry. Okay, there's a poet called Andrea Gibson.
Andrea Gibson.
Yes, and she wrote that safety isn't always safe.
Safety isn't always safe.
You can find it on every gun.
Safety.
What do you think she meant? What's your vibe? What's your feeling? Safety isn't always safe. You can find it on every gun.
Well, what I think is that since a gun can also provide a means of safety, it can also become like a hazardous thing or maybe a dangerous thing.
Yeah,
because
yeah.
if not used correctly, or maybe a mistake, something happens, and then you might end up with somebody dying. And at the same time, if you have a gun, you can scare like smugs or people who will try to rob you. So it will be quite effective to have a gun. So I think for your viewers, they should have a gun. But before they buy that gun, they should always consider that safety is not always safe.
Okay. And mademoiselles, can't be
Mademoiselle! Safety is not.
Safety isn't always safe. You can find it on every gun. What's your thoughts?
I think, I'm not sure, but I think the safety button doesn't always work.
Okay.
Yeah, something like that.
Mademoiselle.
Mademoiselle.
I think safety is not always safe because you can use to other people that are not affecting you directly. So the safety is not the safe at the end.
So you can cause harm with something that even
Yes.
has a safety option.
Yeah.
Then there is this writer, Ernest Hemingway, and he wrote, I guess it's kind of advice to writers, I guess, but he wrote, there is nothing to writing. All you need to do is sit at a typewriter and bleed. Thoughts?
I feel like this is obvious. It's I feel like I don't know this Hemingway guy that well. I mean, like biography, not like in real life, obviously.
He's got me
But yeah, but he's obviously speaking out of a writer's perspective.
Yes.
He's not a professional athlete, I don't think. So from his advice, he would advise you to just sit your ass down and work until you bleed. Same with musicians, play until you bleed. Imagine for professional runners or athletes or whatever, just give it your all.
Yeah.
Imagine that's the human's form of extreme, is go until you bleed.
Yeah.
So I think to wrap it just quickly up, it's if you want to achieve something, put your butt down or put your head down and just go work yourself
Yeah.
until you can't work no more.
So,
keep it
just because
child friendly this stuff.
child friendly channel. This guy, Ernest Hemingway, sure you heard of him?
Rings a bell.
Yeah, rings a bell. So, he had like, I guess, advice for writers, and he said, there's nothing to writing. All you need to do is sit at a typewriter and bleed. Thoughts?
Thoughts. Ernest Hemingway. Man, that guy, I don't know enough to talk about him,
Yeah.
but that statement in itself, there's no power in your words if you don't have experience backing it up. And especially if you're trying to speak truth and conviction to people. And so if you're just all talk, I think that's what I would take as bleed, to literally get the real experience, because bleeding it kind of emphasizes that there's actual physical things happening that causes to either you to bleed or
Yeah.
so for me I think what it means is not just to sit back and theoretically write, it's to live. And basically Hemingway, I think he represents that a lot, is he lived his adventures.
Yeah. I feel you. Yeah, okay, then final question for us all. There's a writer called Ernest Hemingway, and he said, write drunk and edit sober. Is this good advice?
Write drunk and edit
I
sober.
think so.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
most of the time when people are drunk, they are honest.
Yeah,
Okay.
they're expressive. Yeah, it's easy
And
to
you?
express yourself when you're drunk. So yeah, I really
Mademoiselle?
appreciate it.
Yeah, I think they
You
are
agree,
all
what
correct.
else?
Yes.
Okay, say peace and love.
Peace and
I think it's a good advice, because sometimes I think the nerves inside the mind just need something to calm down, just to relax, because you never know the road that you are in. It's a long way, might need to relax.
I'll say perfect. Thank you very much. Say peace and love.
Peace and love.
Also, Ernest Hemingway line. I'm sure this was advice to writers. He said, write drunk, edit sober. Thoughts, good advice, bad advice, what do you think?
I do think it's brilliant advice, because I'll get to everything now, but if you limit yourself, your creativity or anything to your own thoughts, you'll probably fail very badly. But drunk with alcohol, I guess it can work, whatever, or drunk with drugs, whatever. But I imagine if you can do the ultimate by getting drunk with the Holy Spirit, you can put great things on paper or on canvas or whatever you need to do. And then when you get out of that high, you edit just clearly. Makes more sense. But I think to edit sober, I think what's sad is that it seems almost like it's connected to the world.
Yeah.
It seems like you want to edit sober to just to make it the world's way.
Do not step on toes.
I guess.
Yeah.
Or what will be good for the world.
Yeah,
and you add that to it, which is a bit sad. But I think unfortunately with some art or everything, you need to take the world in consideration, because that's the people you're impacting. So I guess it makes sense.
Makes sense.
I just don't agree with certain ways of getting drunk, but there are ways. So yes, it's brilliant. That's the way to do it, I'd say.
I agree. I believe you. This is the last question, and the last time I will ask it on Poeteauesday is that he also wrote, Ernest Hemingway. He gave advice to writers, and you have to tell me if this is good advice or bad advice. But he said, write drunk and edit sober. What do you think? Good advice, bad advice? What's your thoughts?
Well, I think my answer's gonna be quite controversial, but
It's okay.
it depends on what kind of drunk he's referring to.
Okay.
In terms of alcohol is always bad. Doesn't matter who or what excuse you try to get yourself. Okay, it is not good. It gets yourself into the soul, which soul is like emotion. That's not positive. It's not edifying to you. It's not good for you, man. You make decisions that are not kosher under the influence of alcohol. So in that term, no, alcohol drunk bad, but Holy Spirit drunk. That is what life is about. If you don't know what that means, that is when you are totally under the influence, the joy, the setting free, the choices of the Holy Spirit. And if you live in those decisions, life is literally an adventure.
So the advice should be get the Holy Spirit into you and write the stuff out of that moment.
Right, and also not to edit sober without the Holy Spirit. Do everything with the Holy Spirit. That is pretty much.
Seems good advice. Say hey or bye. Yay, peace and love.
Away people.
Check Badger Minds channel.
Please do.
Up and coming, and even just Bernard van Beek. He films. And yeah, away, peace and love. Away, Charlie.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.